I'm excited for today's recording, Rob, because we're bringing in someone from our very own team, the one and only Wyatt of the Low.
Wyatt Von Low. So
what's his official title?
I think right now we're calling him Director of Results,
Yeah.
but of course we're going through a ton of changes. Titles might change, but his role remains the same, where he's a guy who's overlooking the health of all of our accounts. He's spot checking quality. He's a support to our ad strategists. He helps lead and pioneer new strategies. And today I'm excited because we're going to talk to him about, what do you do after Black Friday and Cyber Monday?
Let's ask Wyatt.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the eComm Growth Show.
Let's go. We're excited to have you on and jam today a little bit. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah.
Are we recording?
We're live, dude. We're freaking live.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, Wyatt Low, everybody.
What are you doing?
Dude, well, me asking if
Look at us. We got the same podcast stands. Look at that.
Ooh.
We got podcast. We got the same podcast mic stands. Yeah.
Your video looks good. Your audio sounds good. Might be the best guest we've had yet.
That's because I know what I'm doing when it comes to audio visual stuff.
That's a good thing. Why, do you even know what we're talking about today?
Josiah mentioned a little bit, but why don't you tell me? Because maybe you guys decided to change it up on me, which would be interesting.
All right, so let me paint a picture here. Right now, it's post Black Friday. The dust has settled. You've already ran all your campaigns that you've been working towards for a good chunk of the year. Some people a good chunk of the year, some people, the few weeks leading up to Black Friday. And
let me just add something. If you're a Shopanova client too, and you're hearing this, you probably just went out and bought a new Tesla or a Lambo because your campaigns crushed it so hard over this last weekend.
But regardless of if you had some big wins or you didn't get what you wanted out of Black Friday, you're now looking at this and you're saying, okay, the dust is settled, and how do I get back in the game, and how do I handle the rest of the year and start preparing for next year? And so one thing that we saw, that we've seen in years previous is, guys, Black Friday is very important, is very huge, but it's not over, baby. It's not over at all. It's not over. There's still a lot more of fun to be had, throughout the rest of this year and even in January. I think that's a big thing we saw. Last year, there was people who had bigger months in January than they did in November.
Well, also the day after Christmas sale is one of the biggest sales of the year that a lot of e-commerce stores overlooks. Everyone's getting their gift cards. They got all the Christmas money and they're ready to now blow it right the next day. So you got to be ready for that. Anyways, Wyatt, what is some of your take on that though? Like, a lot of people don't know what to do next step after they've just been preparing for quarter four all year.
Yeah, important things to keep in mind, opportunities to look for. What are your thoughts on that?
I think for years now, we have been seeing a slow decline of the traditional Black Friday approach for quite some time. For example, and just in the world of Black Friday, you got to think, if you're a storefront, if you have a brick and mortar, that's years past. That's where you got most of your success. And I experienced that a lot growing up. My mom was a retail buyer for her entire life, so I was constantly involved. She was responsible for stocking stores, she launched Nordstrom's in San Diego, major. She was a big part of the Black Friday. But now it's interesting because the world we live in now is no longer the brick and mortar, the go into the store and get your wait in line. It's especially because of the circumstances this year. But even so, even if this year didn't happen, even if COVID didn't happen, even if all this didn't happen, we still would see such the surge post Black Friday. What we call Cyber Monday is now Cyber Q4, all of it. And you got to think, so for example, like this year, Amazon Prime Day was moved from July to October. Amazon, the whole point of them doing that was to try to kick off the Black Friday sale early for multiple reasons. And I mean, I think the number they said they saw like 60% higher revenue this year than last year on Prime Day. They made like almost like $3 billion.
And so I want to point out really quick, just to interrupt you, if that's okay. I want to point out, so the people that recognize that and create an opportunity to break out of this idea that everything has to happen on Black Friday and Cyber Monday are the people who are going to get these big wins. So Amazon is a great example of somebody who did that successfully. They broke the rules a little bit and they got rewarded for it. But a lot of people are thinking, well, Wyatt, Robbie, Dan, I'm not Amazon. But here's the thing. We had a client last year. They did this thing called a Black Friday sale.
Ooh, tell them the story.
And dude, they launched all of their Black Friday campaigns the week before Black Friday, and everybody had that built up anticipation of like, I'm going to buy things, I'm going to get things bought before they're sold out. And they just ran their sale a week early and they like completely crushed it. And they did it all before Black Friday even happened. And I think there's just a lot of opportunity for people to break outside of this idea that everything has to happen on Black Friday and Cyber Monday and reap the benefits of that.
Keep going on your
Absolutely.
rant.
Well, it's funny you bring that up. As we talked about this, we have when we sit down with our ad strategists and we talk, most recently about, where are everyone's accounts looking for Black Friday, where are we at? I think an important part of that is just the diversity of our team, which is so awesome. And we've talked a lot about how people who have maybe joined Shop and Nova recently, worked with other companies before, or maybe just were freelancing before or whatever. We've all ended up at one point in time, we have all launched pre-Black Friday sales. And there's a lot of value in that and what we do, specifically strategy wise. You got to think, if you're pushing Black Friday sales from, let's say, the Monday before Black Friday to the week after Friday after Cyber Monday, if you're pushing, that's going to be probably the most expensive time to reach people. The auction place and Facebook is going to be so congested. It's going to have so many people bidding for placements. I mean, and that's what we talk about, is that you got to think, if any of us were on Facebook this, weekend of Black Friday and we saw ads, any ad that didn't have a Black Friday sale, our minds instinctively just kind of block it out. You got to have something that's eye catching. And so what a lot of people are doing to save, money and get lower CPMs and just, lower costs in general, is start bringing people into your funnel early. Get traffic early going. That's kind of what Amazon did, more or less. Obviously, probably one of the most successful companies in the history of the United States. It's arguably the most successful company. They know that they needed to get started early in order to get people attentive and attracted to whatever sale they run all across Q4. And I think that's one of the things that they're really successful at, and that small businesses, whether you're making, 5 figures a month, 6 figures a month, 7 figures a month, whatever it is you're doing, I think you have to be thinking ahead and thinking of how can I maximize our return and be the most effective when it comes to decreasing how much we're spending for that. If you can get people in to your world and to your brand prior to Black Friday, you're going to see a higher return. You're going to see less costs initially, and I think and going into Cyber Monday as well, people are going to be on the lookout for deals from Cyber Monday on, because you got to think, you roll from Cyber Monday into the holidays, and I think all of us, when listening or watching, can say that you get targeted for Christmas and holiday deals 1st of December. It's going all year round. And like Dan said, the post New Year sales are even more opportunity for you to keep going. You got to think, then you got like 3 weeks and you're already into Valentine's Day. It's like, this is the holiday season. This is constantly, it's like, it's roping between each holiday, and you got to take advantage of finding those little spots where you can slip your company in and get some people that want to see your brand already.
And here's the thing, in December, a lot of the big brands are pulling out at that point. They've spent their whole marketing budget, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, they're pulling back out. We often see CPMs drop way down low, meaning it's a lot cheaper to advertise on Facebook and Instagram, which is the best time for these little boutiques to stay in front of people. If they can, people can still order last minute Christmas shopping gifts, like you're saying, Wyatt, but also just staying in front of them until the new year and the holidays down the road is super important to do while it's cheap. So don't quit spending
Yep.
money just because that big sale's done. Stay in front of the people.
Yeah, and I think a lot
Exactly.
of people too just don't always see the value in continually building their data.
Yeah.
And so they break up their budget based on what's going on at any given time of the year, and they think they're going to spend, a lot of their budget, leading up into Black Friday through Cyber Monday, and then they're going to maybe do like a New Year sale, and they're going to take a break and shut off ads for 2 weeks during Christmas because they don't think anybody's going to be purchasing. Like that's one of the worst things you can be doing. And so
Absolutely.
where we're trying to pick up the conversation here is like, there is so much opportunity outside of Black Friday and Cyber Monday, like through December, through January, and even into the spring. Like we saw a ton of people get their footing and set a trajectory to scale for the rest of the year. And that was traction that was built from January. That was traction that was built from the end of December. And I think it's just really important for us to harp on that as much as possible, because that's the last thing you want to do is like turn your ads off because you think nobody's going to be shopping.
No, that's just a no-no in my eyes. I mean, you wouldn't, even if, let's say, even if you wanted to buy, people just don't stop buying things after Christmas because it won't get here by Christmas. If I get targeted by something that is something I'm looking for, or something that triggers something in my mind, and I see it on the 28th of December, I'm going to buy it, even if it's for my wife or if it's for my kid. I'm going to do it even if it's not Christmas. And I think that's a lot of the perspective going to December, is that, oh, well, we can't guarantee shipment by this time. People aren't going to get it by the holidays. It's like, when you start thinking of the holidays, you want to keep your sales going, but post holidays, you got to think people are still going to be, nothing changes. Everything goes back to the way it was. If anything, it makes it easier because it's going to be cheaper for you to get those eyeballs on your product. So I think it's excruciating. It's super crucial for people to want to continue to run their ads into January and February. And if you got products that you can sell that can fit those little holidays like Valentine's Day, or going into March, St. Patty's Day, just thinking about where can we get some more eyeballs maybe necessarily won't get during Christmas. You got to think of Q1 being a cheaper time to maybe even push even harder, because like you said, the bigger companies are dropping out. They're going to stop doing their sales. A small boutique might have better success doing a lower percentage sale on a product of theirs in Q1 of 2021 than trying to push and spend a lot of money to reach people during November and December this year. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. And so one thing you said earlier that I thought was really interesting is you're saying like these spikes of sales in the e-commerce calendar year are just getting kind of flattened out more, and we're seeing more sales before Black Cyber Monday, more sales after, and it's just becoming this thing where I feel like in general it's a lot more consistent, it's a lot more even. And you said that's true regardless of current circumstances with COVID. But one thing I did want to point out specifically to COVID is I know for me, and partly because I'm in Alaska and it's hard to get stuff here anyways, but on many sites that you go to, you're going to see like expect 1 to 2 week delays because of COVID. And so a lot of people are like, I'm not going to wait till Black Friday because I don't want to like risk not having my holiday shopping be late for Christmas. And so I know like for me and my family, like we're already thinking about buying stuff for Christmas. And I think a lot of people across the nation too are like, they're saying like, I already had this thing where I had to wait a month to get it, and I don't want that to happen. So they're purchasing now. And so all of these are just really good to be aware of as an online store owner, because it just shows that it's actually like a lot less high stakes when all the sales happen between Black Friday and Cyber Monday. You feel like it's very high stakes. You feel like I need to be on my A game. I need to get like a majority of my annual sales in these few days. And if I blow it, like, shoot, my year is screwed. And that's just not the case anymore at all. No. And so it's just really, if anything, we're just really wanting to encourage people that continue running your ads, continue pushing your products, and you're going to see that purchase behavior is it's not going to slow down. At least that's what the data is showing right now.
Well, and that's kind of what I touched on at the beginning, was you got to think, like, we think of Black, like, obviously, we want to encourage people to really push over Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend, but you also want to think, like I said, it's like cyber quarter. It started like Amazon with Prime Day starting in the beginning of October this year. That kicked off the holiday shopping. That effectively started everyone getting ready. Like before November 1st even came along, I was getting targeted or getting emails and stuff like that. So you got to think of, like you said, it's not so much this, kind of steady trajectory, and then all of a sudden it just spikes up on the weekend of Black Friday and then comes back down. It's not like that anymore. It's this normal. It's kind of become normalized across the industry of e-commerce that you can start buying Black Friday in late October, early November. You can keep buying the same sales into December and even into January if you're smart.
Yeah.
Because I'm the kind of person who would look for a sale in January. I'm the kind of person who would maybe look after the holidays, and my wife and I always joke, it's like, well, that's when you go buy all your Christmas stuff for the next year because it's cheap. They're trying to get rid of their inventory, so if you're thinking from the customer standpoint, how can we reach them? Well, it's pretty simple. If you have a product that you didn't maybe sell enough of during Black Friday, it's not the end of the world. Now more than ever, you have the opportunity to move into the new year and still get equal amount of traffic for arguably probably a lower cost.
Yeah, and I remember last year we had multiple clients that didn't crush it on Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Their offer wasn't good or whatever, but they kept spending through December and into January. And I remember multiple clients had bigger quarter ones than they did Q4s because we were able to come in January, take advantage of the low CPMs and keep scaling them pretty rapidly, as other advertisers were pulling out. So that just farther drives home the point, guys, of keep spending money even through December, especially going into quarter one.
So why one of your functions in the company is to look at our total client base and pull these big picture statistics, like what's our average CPM as a company? What's our average conversion rates, cost per clicks, return on ad spend, stuff like that. As we've moved into quarter four, what are some of these? What story is the data showing, or what story is the data telling us right now?
We saw the spike in CPMs in like the transition into September, around the mark of Q4, and actually looking at all of our clients. As I told you guys the other day, our CPMs only went up 14 cents.
Wow.
Into November.
Wow.
Which was kind of surprising. And the funniest thing, like as the wheels are turning in my head as we're talking here, literally this week, one of the things we talked about the most among the strategy team is to kind of be the devil's advocate here and talk about how high CPMs can actually work to your advantage. And we could talk about that later, but it's just funny to talk about now low CPMs in a different setting. But we've actually, I think industry wide, the average CPM between this time of the year, without seeing it in front of me, somewhere in the, $10 to $14 range, maybe, and we're definitely on the lower side of that. And I think seeing that we spent, with our clients that we're continually bringing on, we're spending more, but we're continued to keep that, an average CPM that's, for this time of the year, really low. That just goes to tell you our success in reaching people, because we're reaching the right people. The ads and the creative are delivering. People are liking it. Our click-through rate jumped, in terms of a grand scheme of things, it jumped tremendously during October and November too. So people like what we're putting out. People like our ads. People are converting on those ads. Our clients made an X amount percentage more this month than they did last month. So in general, we've been in a good spot, and I think that's where someone like Shopanova can come into a boutique, and someone who's been doing their own ads or maybe working with a freelancer or something like that. We have the team. That's the cool thing, is the team is available all across. We have all these different minds. Everyone can hop in an account, do new things, help out in certain areas. And ultimately, we've seen the success of our long-term clients now resonating the same with our short-term, with like the newer clients as well, because of those similar strategies.
Dude, one thing I've noticed in this industry is marketers love data when it paints them in a good light. And then they love excuses when they don't have an answer for it. They love big, complex excuses. So one thing that we're hearing a lot is
that meme that was shared in our Slack channel sums it up perfectly.
I was just thinking about that. One of our strategists shared it, said like when the chart was going up, it's like, yeah, this was all me. But when it's going down, it's like, well, it's all,
Yeah,
it's
and
the
so
company.
and then they blame
Facebook's
things.
bugs.
So here's some things that are typically blamed. It's Facebook bugs, Facebook updates, algorithm resets, like all these things that are fairly intangible, kind of hard to wrap your head around. But a big one we've seen lately is like nobody's clicking ads because they're distracted about the social unrest and the elections and stuff like that. But the data doesn't lie. Our ads are getting clicked more. Our click-through rates are higher. And even with the amount of people we're reaching, our conversion rate has only gotten better. And so I just want to say that first of all, as a slight flex, but also as an encouragement, because I just don't want people to fall into this narrative of saying like, it's crazy out there, CPMs are high, there's social unrest, there's elections, my ads aren't going to work, I'm going to get out of the game. Like, I'm just trying to encourage people, like, don't do that. It's not true. Just look at the data. At least for like, we're doing some things right, but I think a lot of people, they're still growing, they're still building. And you just need to be able to look at things objectively and figure out where those opportunities are.
I think I definitely think we, like all agencies, to also be the devil's advocate here and think there is naturally, you feel a little fatigue around the election time. We felt it a little bit, but the thing that stands out the most to me is how we came out of that and how our clients came out of it and how the team managed to continually pick up the slack in areas where normally you wouldn't think to do things, or you wouldn't think to try this or whatever it may be. We didn't see that much of an effect during the October-November transition as a lot of people did. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of that goes to how you manage your ad accounts too. Mm-hmm. To have the ability to go in and spend hours every day, not even just changing things, just spending time really being aware of where your performers are, where your non-performers are, and knowing and preparing for changes that are coming in. Like you said, the intangible changes that Facebook, the world is, how little we really know about how our ads get delivered. We can have a best strategy, and we've spent years of data collecting, and we have the proof of what works, but really when it comes to delivering, there can be some issues, and there can be problems at times of the year pose, especially these 1 in every 4 year election years, the social unrest. I don't think that's in any way, shape, or form an excuse for someone to stop doing their ads. Like, that's, if anything, that could be a time for you to actually, be really profitable. Mm-hmm. Might not seem like it, but you could get in if you have the right team that's doing it for you. I mean, we had clients that scaled during that time. Mm-hmm. We had clients that increased their budget, that saw insane conversion rates on their websites. So I think there's a lot to be said about, taking advantage of times where a lot of people would dip out. Maybe think, okay, let's not run anything here, and really getting in there and really finding your niche and finding where you're going to be the most successful.
Yeah, and I think this goes to mindset too. If you're always thinking of external circumstances of why you can't make something happen, you're probably not going to be very successful long term. It's taking these opportunities, social unrest, COVID, the election time, taking these opportunities and say, what adjustments can I make to benefit my business, my family, my life in these uncertain times, and being able to do that. And that's kind of the mindset our whole team operates out of, okay, this is happening, how can we readjust? And as why it's looking across the board at 100 different accounts, kind of has an unfair advantage because he can see trends and what's starting to work, and then, okay, cool, let's roll that across the board, and we're able to kind of elevate everyone at that point.
Yeah, and one thing too, we've said this before, but the most likely time for massive breakthrough is when things are shaken up. Yeah. It's when things are getting hard, when things are getting crazy. You look out through history, that's when people really, the people who are on their game, figure out ways to grow. And it's the most likely spot for breakthrough.
Yeah. I just had to take some time there for a little mindset nugget, because such a good point there, Wyatt.
So Wyatt, post Black Friday, regardless of what your results were, maybe you had some big wins, maybe you kind of just struggled your way through. If you could give people just like 1 or 2 sentences of good advice to carry them through the rest of the year and into quarter 1, what would you tell them?
not let numbers and people's opinions on articles and online and what they say is the trends for this year, to not let that affect you. Because to be honest, you can have triggered Siri on my computer. You can have did it again. Oh my Lord. You can have a business that could thrive, like you said, during Black Friday, and then see things kind of tail off and, get somewhat stagnant. You can have a business that does nothing, and all of a sudden after Q1, if they continue and they keep riding the horse and they keep going, they're going to be super profitable because it's going to be cheaper to reach those people, and you're going to see a bigger return because of that. I really feel like there's so much external opinions and people's professional articles you can read, like Forbes is always talking about, here's what you should be doing in your ad account and things like that. There's so much external noise. And I really think it's important to really trust your gut. I think it's important to go into the holiday season knowing, okay, do I have a product that I feel confident people need to see, and it will resonate with people, it'll convert with people, I'm going to have a new following. Then yeah, if you feel confident in your product and what you're selling, and if you can get through Black Friday, even if it's difficult, if you're paying more and you're not seeing the return, don't take your foot off the gas. That's the biggest thing. Do not take your foot off the gas.
Yeah. And work from your own data. Don't buy into all the jargon.
Yeah. 100%.
Just work with what's in front of you.
There's nothing more that marketers love to do than try to sell you on what works for them. That's what, that's what any click funnel you go through for buy my ebook on how to scale your, stuff like that. The whole point of like what we offer is guidance on, hey, this is the general. We're not going to tell you do A, B, and C, and D, and you're going to be a 7-figure company. That's not it. I think there's a lot of noise out there where that happens. And all we're trying to do is encourage people to grow their business in a positive way and be realistic about what you can do. Because ultimately there are going to be times where you fail. There's going to be times where you have huge wins, but it's not, Black Friday is no longer the weekend that makes or breaks not only your Q4 but all your year. I think for a long time it was. One little nugget, one little thing that maybe we could give a little secret. If there's one area that maybe we're focusing on a lot and that businesses should be focusing on a lot, mobile. Focus on your mobile. Mobile has increased exponentially. The traffic for mobile is huge. Adobe, I think, said that they reported they spent $50 billion on mobile ads. Ooh. And they saw the biggest returns or something ridiculous like that in 2019.
We might have to get you back for a whole conversation on mobile. Give them a little teaser there.
Little teaser there. That's all they. Well, dude, Wyatt, thanks so much for coming on today, man. Really enjoyed this conversation. And guys, I got to say really quick, if you'd like our team, like people like Wyatt and the strategists to look over your ad account and see what it looks like to scale your boutique, your online store over Q1, please reach out, send in an application, and we'll see if it's a good fit and go from there.
And the cool thing is, guys, we're going to do a free audit and just help you identify some opportunities. Yeah. If there's missed opportunity, we'll share what that looks like. If we feel like you're doing everything right and we can't help you, we'll pat you on the back and send you on your way. Maybe shoot you some resources, something like that. But everything we do is by application, and it's results driven. And we really feel like we're growth partners in this. So we want to make sure that we're a good fit, you're a good fit, and just have a really good, healthy relationship together. For more information, we'll probably throw a link to an application page if you want to do that. But ladies and gentlemen, Wyatt Lowe, thank you so much for being with us, and we'll catch you next time.